Meet Kasey Keeney. On April 29, 2022, while walking down the road close to his home, a tree falls on him, breaking his spine and leaving him paralyzed. Well, underneath that tree, he says he met God, and God told him there's still work to do. Join us this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Rollin' to Win YouTube channel as we talk about his life-changing story and what he's working toward now. You certainly won't want to miss that. I'm in Virginia, so
That's right. That's right.
southeastern Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm near Lexington, so we're on the same time frame.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at the same time here.
So you're in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, man. Just south of Lexington, like 20 miles.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to picture where Lexington is, but I can't really picture it. I did some work around Bowling Green years ago now.
I'm actually from that area where I grew up.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in that area?
Small town called Campbellsville.
Campbellsville. I think I've seen signs for it.
Yeah,
There might have been one or two fellas who lit.
About an hour from Bowling Green.
Right. I think there was one fella who would drive in because I was driving from Nashville up to Bowling Green every day that I worked up there, and then I think this one fellow was driving from Campbellsville. No kidding. Can't remember his name though. Good fella. I didn't meet any bad people in Kentucky.
No, there ain't too many. It's a pretty friendly state.
Right on.
Pretty friendly state, man. You doing all right?
Yeah, yeah. Can't complain. Things are going all right. Yeah.
Good.
Nothing major going on my way. Just kind of, I guess, reverse dieting right now.
Yeah.
That's fun because you get to eat anyway.
That's right. And I tell you what, after my last surgery, I decided to clean bulk the entire way. So I got all the way down. And yeah, man, I lost 10 pounds after my surgery.
Right.
And got down to like 160, which is even lower than I was in Dallas. And,
right.
Of course, you lost a lot of muscle mass, but you lost all that fat too.
Sure.
So I came back, man. I've been eating as clean as a whistle. And in 4 months' time, since my surgery, I'm back up to 170.
Nice.
And yeah, and if you saw the video this morning, I threw up. It's kind of showing off my abdominals, man. They're like, first time in my life, I think my abdominals are coming through. I'm like, heck
nice.
yeah, man. So I'm going to keep eating pretty clean and
right.
see what next year brings,
Okay. So you're going after it next year too,
huh? Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
The Arnold's my place. I was real disappointed in the turnout for the Arnold. I mean, I couldn't believe it when you were the only guy there.
Yeah, sure. And, me either.
we've got to make it our mission that these other athletes understand that the Arnold can be a pro card.
Right.
But you have to have 5 people there.
Right. And you have to have enough people. That's right.
Right. And we've got more than that out there.
Mm-hmm.
We had, how many did we have last year in Dallas? 15 competitors.
Well, I think that, it was, I'm thinking 9, that it was 9 that competed.
Maybe it was.
But either way, there's still a ton more out there that's just not competing, but still #wheelchair bodybuilding,
Yeah, I see it all the time. I reach out to them all the time, and to those same guys, and maybe you do the same thing and try to get them involved.
Right.
I'm not going to go to Idaho this year. I'm not even going to go to support it. It's just so much money just to go.
Yeah, sure.
But
Boise is pretty expensive to see.
If you're going to win your pro card, what better place is there to win your pro card than the Arnold Classic?
Right.
I mean, that's what I want to win my pro card. I want to win it in the Arnold Classic. And the first year I was there, it was between me and the 300 guy,
Oh, yeah, Jason.
And it was so close on the scorecards, it was unbelievable.
Right.
He had so much size and mass, but I was looking really good. I was really popping. And the scorecards were so close, it was unbelievable. And that was a great atmosphere, a great experience. Jason's a great competitor and a great friend. And just you got to love this sport. You got to love the athletes that are with us, and I like Dallas too. But don't get me wrong, that was a
I
good show.
enjoyed Dallas. Yeah, I had never had the Arnold experience, right?
You
When I
didn't
went
get
to
it.
Dallas.
You didn't get the Arnold experience,
Yeah,
man. Guess
yeah.
you have
So, but I mean, you know, I still got the overall experience. You know, but I didn't get to compete with anybody really. So it was at
Right.
center stage anyhow. But at the same time, still got treated very well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, you get treated like a VIP,
Yeah.
and when you see how many people there are at the event, I think that makes that experience it makes it crazy is what it makes it. You feel like royalty practically, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. I
Yeah.
love it.
So, oh yeah, I do too. I was like, hell, man, this is like pro wrestling. Like you could really like you could make your character even and all kind of stuff with it. And I was like, this sounds fun to me. Like I'm into it, you know?
Man, I don't know how you're feeling or what you got going on in your life right now, but you're right there, man. I think if you went to Idaho with the guys that I've seen that I know are coming, you're going to get your pro card. If not,
Right.
somebody's going to get their pro card that you could have easily dominated. You were in the best shape I've seen you at the Arnold. You were ready to roll.
Man, I appreciate that. We
Yeah,
worked really hard with my coach on that one, and you know, it was really bringing the total package. Really gave it my all. So you know, it was one of those moments. So it was kind of bittersweet to, you know, hey, look, I won, but at the same time,
yeah.
you know, like
You look you were ready.
it
You looked great,
it
man. I watched it.
thanks
You were all the way
thanks.
around. You looked awesome. Good
And
presentation.
the other way is like, okay, well, I guess I'm the only one in the whole world who wanted to come to the Arnold and compete,
I
you
know,
know.
man. I was like, no,
Right, right. So
man.
I mean, and here's the real thing though, is like if we don't get competitors to those stages, then they just won't do it. It's as simple as that. I noticed that I just noticed in my scroll that it's coming up May 4th. Like there is an NPC event down in North Carolina. I would have to see what it was officially, but you know they had like a wheelchair, you know, like wheelchair bodybuilding was in there, so it was a part
I
of
didn't
it.
even know that. I didn't even know it.
Yeah, me either. But
But
it just
Dick didn't
happened
put
across
that.
my feed.
I
Say
don't think
again.
Dick had that on his page either.
Right. But they are, you know, being, you know, like it listed as an opening. So I guess that if you're a wheelchair competitor, you can certainly go down to that.
Yeah,
It
that'd
said
be
it's the
great.
MPC Naturals or whatever, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I fit.
Right, right. So like May 4th is when that is. I have a wedding to go to, like with
Gotcha.
now it ain't my wedding, but I have a wedding to go to, you know. Yeah, so it's been planned for a while, and I just saw it like earlier today that was even a thing. So I guess if we're gonna have, you know, we complain about not having events or whatever, but then when there's invites to them, there's not a lot of competitors, so they just don't do it.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, especially if you're a new competitor, I think a lot of them are scared, and
Hmm.
it's one thing just to get in your chair and go to Walmart or go to the
Right.
local gym and people
Sure.
are looking at you. Um, but when you go up on stage and you're taking all your clothes off, I can see how that's a little intimidating to, especially a new younger bodybuilder.
Yeah,
But
I can dig
I
it.
had a guy I talked to just the other day. He's a junior in high school, real athletic kid before he got
Hmm.
hurt on his dirt bike, and now he's a
Mm.
para. And he doesn't want to go out anywhere now, and he's
Oh
so
yeah,
afraid.
right,
And I said,
right.
man, I tell you what, I said, why don't you come to the gym with me? You just tell
Sure.
me when you want to go. I'll go with you. I said, because I promise you one thing. No one there is looking at you funny because I already got
Right.
all the funny looks. They
Right.
already been looking at me for years. So they're so used to seeing me in
Yeah.
there and you may have this at your gym. They run to open the door for me.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
every
yeah.
time they see me coming, they're running over there. They open the door. They're like, "Hey, Kasey, you need anything? We're here." We go to Planet Fitness here in town, and
Hmm.
we're treated like royalty. They love me. I love them, and they don't judge you there. Now, I'm not saying
Right.
they don't get to every gym or every Planet Fitness, but they've gotten to know me, and the people that attend there have gotten to know me.
Sure. Right.
That's why I invite all new paraplegics, male, female, no matter what shape you're in,
Right.
to start working out with me. You know as
Sure.
well as I do how much this means to you in your
Oh
life.
yeah.
Look what you're doing now.
Right.
You would be
Right.
doing a video right now if wheelchair bodybuilding would have had such an impact on you.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, yeah, exactly. And I want to see the sport grow too. I do. And really, like, you know, for me personally, I was just I was a worker bee. You know, like I worked hard, man work, right? You call it just labor work kind of thing. I had like utilities construction going on, and I guess that after I got hurt, I was just like, well, can't do nothing now. You know, just I'm scared to get hurt. Everything hurts right there for the first 6 months at least
At
before you
least.
even start. Before you even start to like, well, maybe I could probably do something now. You know, and
Mhm.
then at that point, you know, you're pretty you've been down on yourself. Perhaps. I mean, maybe you're lucky enough to where you know you've had the right people around to where you know maybe you can be bubbly at 6 months. But I wasn't necessarily bubbly at 6 months. You know.
No, I wasn't
Um,
either.
Right, right. I think, you know, it was pretty close to probably 18 months into being, you know, into recovering from the injury that I even decided, well, maybe I could try some push-ups or something, you know, just something in the floor, stretch out. And so that's kind of where I started, was in the floor. And, you know,
Yeah.
like when you're in physical therapy, they give you those bands and stuff. So I
Yep.
started doing push-ups with the band around and just doing it that way. Eventually I made it to the gym, and I remember being very apprehensive. I think honestly, the first time I went to the gym, I drug my two adult sons with me. It's like, come on, we're going to go get in shape, you know, and so they went and helped me out, and which is good that they were there because you know your first time transferring off and on equipment and stuff. But
It's
hell, that was
tough.
yeah, that's probably right at 2 years in, and that's when I created like my Facebook and stuff. It was right at like New Year's resolution of 2021 kind of thing. Like, this is what we're going to do with our life from here on out. So here we are now in 2024, several years later. And I guess I stuck to it. So,
When did you get hurt?
it was 2018 in June. So it's coming up. The alive day for that is coming up, you know, June 9th.
My live day is
So,
coming April 29th.
wow.
I'll be
Yeah.
going
So,
4 years.
right. And a tree fell on you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Tree fell me and broke eight
So,
vertebrae.
but before you get into that, like, check
Sure.
this. I was just thinking, like, so we have two wheelchair bodybuilders out here. One's a pro and one's an amateur, but two men that a tree has actually fallen on top of
Right.
and given them their spinal cord injury. And you know, to me, like, it seems like that's like a one in a million kind of thing, and here we are.
You know, and to be honest with you, most tree people that the tree falls on them don't survive.
Right.
There's only like a 10% survival rate.
Mm.
Uh, Not only because it just didn't crush their heads, but because of the severity of the impact of such a massive weight.
Yeah,
Uh,
no kidding.
you know, it's the survival rates is just really slim. So Bradley's very lucky. He was in his shed and a toolbox broke his tree from collapse, crushing him. And I just got lucky that one branch went in front of my face and one branch went right down my spinal cord.
Mm.
Uh, you know, we're talking big pieces of the trunk. The trunk was right beside me, and
Oh wow.
it's just you know, all praise to God, man. It just didn't hit me in the head. How it didn't hit me in the head is a miracle in itself.
Sure, sure.
You know,
I
that was
had
it.
a fellow lineman of mine, you know, a friend of mine. This is, I guess, several years ago. They were doing rec out. Somebody cut one of the down guys. The down guy shouldn't have been cut. It was on down the line, so the poles were all wobbly like this, and it was an old
Uh,
pole, so it broke off while he was up on it. and he tried to clear it, but it fell on him, and I think it hit him in the head, and that took him out.
Yeah,
That was a lot of years ago.
We got a lineman here in town that just got injured about 2 years ago, and same thing. He was up climbing a ladder right before it rained, and right after it rained, and he got ready to put his safety on around it, the pole, when he got to the top, and the ladder just gave way.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he's just had a real rough time, doing it and getting back into life, and it's been hard on him, hard on his family.
Yeah,
I don't think a lot of our listeners don't even understand. It's one thing to what we go through to be a bodybuilder. It's another thing what we go to just to live every day.
Right.
How we feel when we get out of bed, the pain that we go through daily, how long it takes us to get dressed before they get dressed.
Right.
Me and my wife can get up at the same time, and we're talking about a woman, right? And she's dressed for the day and out the door, and I'm still trying to get my pants on.
Right. Yeah, all bets are off on that. What time do we have to be there? Yeah, you better tell them we're going to be late.
We're always late. I'm late everywhere I go.
That's right. It used to get stressed out about it, but maybe not so much anymore. It's just one of them things. Hey, everybody, we're here. The party can start.
I was almost late to my own speaking event.
Oh man. Yeah. So how'd that go? Like, where was that at?
Man, it was really great. I eventually just wanted to speak in front of a small crowd, so I invited my church, and then my church is acquainted with 3 other local churches where they do things together. So they invited them, and then they invited other people. And so they had about 50 or 60 chairs set out before it started. And within 30 minutes time, they had 149 chairs out and a butt in every one of them.
Nice.
So I was looking out at the crowd like, holy cow, like, this is not, it's not what I wanted to start with, but I guess that was
Hey, but if you think about it, you've been naked in front of more people than that.
That's right. I've been naked in front of
or at least half naked, right?
But I had bright lights to stare at there, so I couldn't see nobody. I just look at the light.
That's right. Gotcha. Yeah, that's it. Up on that stage, you can't see anybody. So you had 100, like, standing room only crowd. Wow. How about that?
It was pretty cool. It was really cool.
And what was your message there?
The message was to share the fact that we are everybody else. We're their brothers or their dads. We're their cousin. We're just like everybody, you and I. We have a job, we have a family, we have all the responsibilities of normal individuals. So I started it off by just showing videos of me. My time in the service, my time as a dad, just all these different pictures, and kind of got everybody realizing that there's no difference. In fact, I even said, I said, I'm sitting down right now. I said, but look around you. I said, you're all sitting down too. I said, there's nothing between us. It's different except for how we get up and walk out of here.
Right.
And then went into the tree falling on me and all that, and all the medical complications. And of course, I'm not even sure if you know this, but it's a real crazy story, the whole thing. I've got podcasts on it. I'm one of those few people that you'll actually meet that did die. I died on the scene, and spent some time with God, and I actually back it up biblically that it was God. I can back it up with scripture. And then I came back on my own. God sent me back before I ever got picked up by the ambulance. I was back, and I was telling everybody about it in the ambulance on the way to UK, what had happened. And I never passed out again. I was never out or in a different place ever again, went into surgery. And during the surgery, they discovered that I had a severed aorta, and I was bleeding out. And so I spent 7 hours on a surgery table just to repair that. At the end of 7 hours, they decided that they couldn't repair it, that they'd been giving me 3 blood transfusions during this whole thing. So I was bleeding out as fast as they were pumping it in. And then all of a sudden, and this actually came from Dr. Hilliard, the head spinal surgeon, the blood stopped. And they couldn't figure out how it would ever stop. As bad as it was bleeding. So I go over 7 miracles that occurred in the 3 to 4 months that I was in the hospital.
Okay.
And some of them were just as impressive as that right there, just the blood just stopping for no
Right.
reason.
Right.
So, I'm one of those few. I bodybuild for me. I bodybuild to help show other pairs that you and I can do these kind of
Sure.
things. And then even at my age, I'm 48 years old. It's
Mhm.
not over. I'm a big competitor at 48, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I thought you and me was the
40,
same age for
48, we're
some
still
reason.
taking on the young guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to show everybody is that we can still do things and move on with our life. We just move on a little
Right.
different. And that we're all here by the mercy of God. You know,
Yeah.
he's
So
one.
you spent some time with God, you said, and so
Yes. Yes.
what there really like that's wild.
Well, like I tell everybody, as I was sitting, the tree, when trees hit, they bounce, usually about
Hmm.
once. So when
Okay.
it bounced, it actually bounced it and putting me in a sitting position. But I was trapped under the tree. My left
Mhm.
leg and the femur had several breaks, so it was laying behind me. I actually thought it was broke off because all I could see was my
Mhm.
jean pant down there, and it looked like it was just disconnected and gone, right?
Oh God.
And my front leg was in front of me, running with the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
Well, as I'm sitting there, I'm got spitting blood out, and I realized I've got a serious issue. Something's going on. At first, I just thought my mouth was busted. But as I continued to fill up and spit blood, I realized I've got a serious issue, and knew, I guess, that when you're in trouble. Just
Hmm.
during your accident, you knew I'm in big trouble. There's something
Oh
really
yeah,
bad.
that's right.
So I knew I was in trouble. I didn't know I had a broken back at the time. I just thought I was trapped, but I did know I had some internal injuries, and I knew that, of course, that my leg was something wrong with it. And I just began to pray. I wasn't a real big Christian at the time, uh,
Mm.
at all.
No atheist
Um,
in foxholes, right?
I wasn't even an atheist. I
No,
just
I'm
was a
just
guy
saying,
that,
but no atheist
yeah,
in
yeah,
foxholes, man.
yeah, yeah. I grew up in church, but I kind of got away from prayer. I'd become really successful in life. Okay. I'd really become
Right.
successful in my business. I was making
Uh-huh.
money, hand and fist. If I wanted to go buy
Right.
something, I bought
Yeah.
it. And I think I was like, look at me, look at me, look what I'm doing in my life. I built
Right.
this, I did this. And as I'm laying there on the tree, I just began to pray because I had no one to talk to. I live
Okay.
out in the middle of nowhere. I'm 25 minutes just from town. And no
Right.
one lives around me. I'm really secluded. And I just began praying. And I realized that the worst thing about my life was that I hadn't prepared my wife and my family not only for my death, but for their eternal salvation. I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been a good Christian father to them and let them know that, man, there's more to life, and we've got to get right with God no matter how old you are. And so I just started praying out loud, God, don't take me. God, don't take me. And then I look across the valley. I had a really beautiful view
Mm-hmm.
out here. It's all mountains. Um, and I'm looking around, and in the distance, there's this big bright cloud coming. And I looked to my left, I looked to my right, and this cloud is just rolling in with a force, almost like a wave at the ocean. But it is the brightest, whitest cloud I've ever seen. And finally, the cloud got to my leg, and my leg didn't disappear, but the tree around me dissipated and turned into the white cloud and was gone. And by this time, a fear came over me, um, a fear that even being in the army for 9 years, I was a combat soldier. I never felt anything like this before. It was an unbelievable fear, and the cloud completely submerged me. And it was so bright. I'm here to tell you, it was so bright. I remember thinking vividly, are my eyes open or are they closed as I
Mm.
tried to look around? But
Wow.
as I looked
Okay.
around, there was nothing but bright, bright white. So I'm still so afraid. So now I'm praying even harder. And my prayer was, Lord, please just don't take me. Just don't take me. I didn't prepare my family. Please don't take me.
Mm.
Over and over. And then all of a sudden, this massive peace came over me. And this peace, I'm getting chills just telling you, man. This peace came over me. It was so incredible. It would be like grandma making the most awesome pie that you've ever had at Thanksgiving dinner. And you may never have that pie again, but you just yearn for that piece of pie. So to this day, man, I just yearn to feel that peace and that love that I felt that day. So as this peace came over me, everything started to come back into vision, but slowly, almost like you'd been looking at something really bright. And slowly things are coming back into focus. And as they come back into focus, I realize where I am and what's going on. I'm still in pain. But I realized that I'm going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm here for a reason and a purpose. And before I went back into surgery, I could see the fear in my wife's eyes. She said I was completely gray, just gray.
Right.
I looked at her, and Arnold would appreciate this, if you grew up as a big Arnold fan, right, as I did.
Right.
As I look at her as they're rolling me back into the surgery room, and I said, "I'll be back."
Right.
Just
Right.
just being a big cut up,
Right.
And
And you are, here you are.
here I am. I flatlined 5 more times in surgery, but but I never saw the light again.
Mm-hmm.
I never went anywhere when I died those times.
Yeah.
It was so impactful that Dr. Hilliard, he's a spinal surgeon for 20 years. He was the head surgeon at the University of Kentucky, and now he's the head surgeon at University of Gainesville, Florida. He actually told them when he got the job at Gainesville, right when my accident occurred, that he
Mm-hmm.
wanted the job and he would come, but he had to see me through, and he stayed with me until I was discharged from the hospital.
Wow.
This guy was so blown back by the whole blood story I told you.
Yeah.
That he stayed, and even on Sundays when he was off, because he took Sundays off to go to church, he would come see me on Sunday just to check in on me and talk to me and hang out with me.
Wow.
It was incredible. It really was incredible how those events even changed a hardened Christian like him. He's a big Christian, and
Right.
It really supported his beliefs, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Sitting here questioning myself too, like listening. But that's how it goes. That's just how it goes. I mean, you don't know what you don't know till you hear it, really, or till you do it or see it or what have you.
And for years, I actually did last year. I did a course. I went to a class and did a presentation only to 9 kids. It was an elective course at the local college on near-death experiences. I get done with the whole story, what I just told you, and this little kid, a college kid, smart as a whip, raises his hand and says, "Well, all the studies we've done, you didn't see any family members?" It's like, "No." "You didn't see the gates?" "No." "You didn't see anything that everybody that has a near-death experience sees?" And I said, "No." He said, "Where were you?" "I don't know."
Right.
"I don't know." And 2 years later, after this event, just only about 8 months ago, I'm thumbing through the Bible one day, bored, and just opened it up, and I opened up right to a page of what's called Transfiguration. Okay.
Right. Right.
And in that paragraph, it talks about where Jesus took 3 of his disciples to the top of a high mountain, and it describes the face of God was as bright as the sun,
Right.
and his clothes were as white as the cloud.
Right.
And he goes through that, and it talks about how they fell to their face in complete fear and were trembling. And I thought, and I actually read that whole thing out to the congregation Sunday night to prove to them that no, I wasn't in heaven. I don't know where I was.
Right. Hell, you was under a tree, and God came to meet you right there. Yeah.
But
that's what it's like.
I was with God, and I think even though God knew what I was going to have to go through to come back, I think he knew that I would carry out the mission that he gave me.
Sure.
But here we are, almost 4 years to my live anniversary, and I'm just now brave enough to start doing it.
Right.
And it may be because I got on stage naked first, and then
there you go. There you
brave enough to get in front of people to tell a story, right?
Well, everything that has happened has led up to this moment. That's kind of how I look at it. And there's a saying, and philosophy, amor fati, which is love of fate, right? So, and everything that you're doing now is leading up to some other event in the future. It's the I think Jordan Peterson put it kind of this way, the the future self thing, right? It's
Right.
Homer Simpson going to the refrigerator and breaking out the jar of vodka mayonnaise and starting to chug on it, and he goes, "Yep, this is a problem for future Homer. So you can either set yourself up for the future problem or you set yourself up for some form of success in there, right?" But
You're
whatever has
exactly right.
happened has surely led up to this moment and choices that we've made. Because I can think back to like, well, if I'd made this choice back when I was 22 years old, then I probably wouldn't have ended up falling off of that roof. It's like it's crazy.
But you know
Uh,
what? It's some things are just destined to happen. It's
that's
just
right.
in my
That's
mind,
right.
it's the will of God. God didn't will you to fall off the roof, but He
No.
already knew that you were going to fall
Yeah.
off the roof, or that
Yeah.
you were going
Right.
to fall off something. It
Sure.
was just going to happen
Hmm.
because that's what you're destined to do. And why not be you? Who
Right.
else could you name right now that you would rather be sitting in that wheelchair
Yeah.
than you?
That's it.
Who would you give this burden to?
Right. Right. That's
I couldn't
I
give it to
made that
anybody.
reference. Marcus Aurelius made the reference that it's better that this thing would have happened to me than happened to somebody who couldn't handle it. And it was in the book of Meditations. That's to anybody who saw the previous episode where I couldn't remember the book. It's Meditations. Marcus
That's right,
Aurelius's
Marcus Aurelius. I
Meditations.
love Marcus Aurelius. He was a
Yeah,
smart
sure.
man.
That's right. That's right. An emperor that could look at himself as a human and look and see where he was faulty.
He was very good at that. He would be a man I'd follow in battle.
Right, for sure, for sure.
No
I
doubt.
think that in that, it's every man's duty to try and kind of look at himself and see where he's faulty and see where he can fix it. And if you're not aware of that, then you're living for like a whole lot of the I'm right and you're wrong kind of stuff instead of taking in what other people have to say about it.
Right.
Um,
And you can't move
it-
forward.
right,
You
right.
can't
You
move
never,
forward
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're not trying to fix yourself. You're in the same
sure,
spot. You may think you're getting better, but if you're not fixing your problems, whether it be drinking or drugs or whatever your
right.
vice is, if you're not
Whatever
working
the
to
thing.
always better yourself,
That's right.
um, you're stuck.
No
You're a
doubt.
non-moving locomotive, buddy.
No doubt. No doubt. So you say you were pretty successful before this injury and stuff. And just looking at your post, I noticed that you probably have like, and I'm just, it looks like you have a nice piece of land to get around on out there
Yeah,
in the fine country of Kentucky.
yeah.
So how did you grow your business? What was your business? What is your business, right?
Well, I'll tell you real quick. When I got out of the army, I got out because my oldest son was still like 4 years old, and I hadn't seen him much. And his mom and I got divorced, and I just wasn't seeing him. The army just isn't a good life for family and kids. They always said if we wanted you married, we'd issue you a wife.
That's right.
Um, so after 9 years, I decided to get out of the military. But I love the military, and the army was really what I wanted to do with my life. Um, but I also didn't want my son growing up without a father around. So I got out, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I got into sales for a while and became a very successful salesman, which helped me build up, quite a bit of money. Not rich at all, but maybe be able to pay the bills and save money back.
Hmm.
And after 9 years of sales with a Fortune 500 company, I just wasn't happy there, and things were starting to change. But that kid in us never goes away. We're men and boys, and we just love those kind of things. And trucks and tractors and
Right.
toys like that is just kind of my thing. So I got into towing. I went to work for a towing company just to learn the trade. I mean, that was it. I want you to teach me how you do this because quite frankly, I don't think you're smarter than me. And I think if you can do it, I can do it. I
Right.
don't care
Okay.
what it is. What it is. I mean, if a man can do it, can you not also duplicate it?
That you can. That you
That's
can for
right.
sure.
That's
For
right. I
sure.
mean, what you're doing right now, you didn't start from scratch. You're duplicating a process that's already been made, right?
That's right. Seen it.
So I did that too. I decided to buy a tow truck. I bought an old tow truck, and this truck had sat literally in a field for 3 years. I didn't know anything about mechanics. I didn't know anything about a diesel motor. I couldn't tell you the difference between a glow plug and a spark plug at the time.
Okay.
I
Right.
mean, but I knew people that did. You
Mhm.
have to put people around you that are smarter than you in different categories. Okay.
Right.
So my buddy was really good at diesel mechanics. So I hired him to help me fix this truck. And so I got the truck all fixed out. I never forget the first day I rolled out. And this is what people need to understand about small business. The first day I quit my job
Mhm.
and I roll out on my own. I have 4 children at home at this time. One of them is just 6 months old. And as I get ready to walk out the door, we're behind on all the bills. My wife looks at me and she says, "Well, how much money do we have left?" I said, $200.
That's enough
She
for
said,
groceries,
"Well,"
right?
she said, "Well, that's not too bad." And I said, "Oh, but I got to put 100 in the tank."
Oh man. Right.
So
Right.
literally, in with one jump truck out of a field
Mhm.
and a full tank of fuel and $100 in my pocket, within 6 years, I had 7 trucks, 7 tow trucks, 2 service vehicles, 10 or 11 employees, and was
Nice.
just
Nice.
slowly growing the business and growing and growing and growing.
Right.
And it took us being in the business 9 or 10 years before I finally bought my farm here. It's only 20 acres.
Right. Okay.
Maybe that sounds like a lot to some, but
That's
it's
a
not
lot
a
to
big,
take care of.
it
That's a
is a
lot to
lot to
try to
take
take
care of,
care of.
especially in a wheelchair.
Oh, no doubt.
But
No
if you go to
doubt.
my Instagram page and videos, you'll see me actually on my tractor.
Right.
I got a big
Okay.
tractor with dual wheels on both sides, and I
Yeah.
do everything I need to do in this massive, huge tractor. The
Nice.
farmers around here, they laugh at me and they're like, "You're nuts. There is no way I'd get on a tractor
I think a
that
little fearless.
you
I'd
can't
say a
use
little
your
fearless.
legs." Yeah. I have no controls on this tractor. So
Okay.
the clutch and the brake, I don't use it.
Oh, get out of here. No,
No.
you don't even have like a stick down to it or nothing. Like, whoa, now hold on.
No. It just I put it in a lower gear, like 2 or 3, and just let it eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I have a great time. I love my tractor. That's who is
Right.
just calling in right now. Is Derby States? They gotta fix something wrong with it. I don't know. It's a brand new tractor, but something's wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it took time. So you can
Mhm.
start with just a dream and a little bit of money. And if you just stay faithful to the dream, and what I mean by faithful is you work harder than everybody else. You pour
Right.
all the money that you make. Don't go buy new cars. Don't go buy all these things at first. Build your dream.
Right.
And as you
Right.
build the dream, it's kind of like planting seeds. And in the first year, you may not have a great harvest. The next year, you may not have a great harvest. But every year, that crop that you've planted gets stronger and stronger and stronger as you learn
Yeah.
how to work your business.
That's right.
Um, Now, after my accident happened right at the beginning of COVID. Due to my accident and due to COVID, we're down to 5 trucks now. The
Mhm.
economy has slowed down. A lot of the transportation issues, things that we used to make money on, has slowed down.
Mhm.
We don't do
Hell,
repos.
people trying to do work, trying to get their car worked on it slowed down.
Everything is slowed down
Yeah.
across the board. So we're down to 5 trucks. That pays the bills. So I'm able to stay where I'm at right now. We've been
Mhm.
blessed. But at any time, that could all go away.
Right.
And I've always understood that, and I've accepted that. And if it all goes away, then I'll just hang on the coattails of God and His will for me and continue forward.
That's right. You'll figure out a new way. But right,
Well,
like that's what you do.
it'll
Persistent. Be
right.
persistent.
You just keep going. It's just like, you go to these bodybuilding competitions and we come up short.
Right.
We don't quit. We keep
Oh
on
yeah.
doing what we love,
Yeah.
And even
Hell,
if I never make it, even if I
yeah.
never get a pro card,
Right.
I'm 48 years old. I'm not going to
Sure.
stop.
Right.
Just keep pushing.
That's it. That's it. Be
I'll be
persistent.
60 and Nick will be like, dude, you got to get off the stage, man.
It depends on how you look. Like they'll give a whole new meaning to masters at the wheelchair
Right.
60-year-old competitor. Which
Right.
Jack, what is Jack's last name? Do you know his last
No,
name?
I don't know his
The
last name, but he's
Canadian guy?
probably 60.
Yeah, well, he's 72.
Oh, wow. Who would have
Yeah,
known that?
he's 72. Yeah. So I was like, wow, wow,
It's
that's
such a joy to
impressive.
be around
It
and talk to.
I guess that he was back at the original times with like with Ludovic Marchand, I think it's Marchand or something like that, back in '94
Right.
somewhere. I mean, wait, I mean, I didn't even know about any of it until like hell, I didn't even get into bodybuilding until I saw that you could do it and was like, hey, wait a second. I
I didn't
remember
either.
when I was a kid, like, but I do remember when I was a kid watching the bodybuilding competitions and I liked He-Man, right? So I was a big
Yeah, me
He-Man
too.
fan.
Luke's
And
original.
you know, but my grandmother's like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Like, I want to be He-Man. You know, and she'd be like, "You don't want to look like those guys." And now I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I do want to look like those guys."
I actually do want to look like Hottie Fry. It'd be great to look like Hottie, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like, you know, I want to see like some personality and competition in the wheelchair game. I mean, because
Yeah.
I mean, we're athletes. We're not like what is it? Philanthropy mission. That's not what we are. We're athletes out here trying to compete for real and show you exactly what we got, you know.
And just like the pro athletes, we diet like they diet, we work
For
out like
sure.
they work out. We still have to take care of the overhead at home and mama and the kids just like they
Hmm.
do. We're no different.
That's it.
We're
That's
no
it.
different. The only difference is they don't win as we don't win as much money.
Yeah. You get a
Did
little
you see where
hardware,
they
but
came out and they said they were
not
going
the
to give
money.
all the different divisions more money
Oh
for the
yeah.
wins because they ended up getting this big sponsor? Did you
Right.
notice the wheelchair pros were not mentioned?
Oh, right, right. I don't know what they'll do there. They kind of keep it hush hush as to the purses on it, or at least the purse at the Arnold. You know, which you know, it's more hearsay than it is truth. I think the winner at the Arnold gets 12 grand, and then I think the next place might be 3,000 or something like that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm
You
not
know,
sure.
I know that I'm pretty certain that the Olympia, because looking into it, I think the Olympia, if you win the Olympia, I think it's 50,000. So I mean, you think about somebody from Eastern Europe, like the guy who won this last
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
that's life changing. You know, like that changes your whole life. I mean, hell, here in America, 50,000 would do a lot of changes for a lot of people, I think, you
It
know.
paid my
So
bills for the year.
right, no doubt. No doubt. Like hey, between you and me, I'd pay the house off. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
about all I owe. So, you know,
That's
so
right.
I'd have my house paid for and like all kinds of stuff, be in good shape. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm still going to compete. I'm going to come back like I'm going to get huge this year is the whole plan is to get huge and then go to the Arnold, I think.
I don't know,
If
man.
if I can get
I
enough people out.
I think right now, I'm kind of disappointed in the judges. I really thought that being huge is where it's at, but it
Yeah,
seems like being huge is only where it's at is if you're a heavyweight competitor. And
right.
in the division that we're in, where they're really judging you from the waist up,
Hmm.
it looks like Guinea's in. They want swim champs.
Well,
Um,
it's kind of the classic aesthetic, the wide shoulders, small waist. If you watch Nick put a video that damn it, the NPC chairman put out, and he was
yep, I
talking
saw.
about yeah, and he was talking about how small dude's waist was. You know,
Yeah, the dude's
Rashish
mini.
John
Yep.
in comparison to Gabriel's waist. You know, because Gabriel had a little wider waist and stuff. So I would like to get like, I was looking at the different stuff, it'd be small waisted, broad shouldered. I can dig it,
I think you got the amateur wrapped up this year. I really do. Based on who I
Yeah,
know is coming to Idaho. Is it
right.
Idaho?
It's
I,
Idaho.
I think if you go, you've got it wrapped up. Easy.
Yeah.
Bar
Just,
none.
yeah. So
You're the most chiseled. You are more chiseled than anybody else that's going to show up in Idaho. That's
I
just
I
down to it.
appreciate that, and I really do want to compete, but I think that again, my coach is he's Seth Shaw. He's put the brakes on it, for whatever reason. Just
He said, "I put you hard enough, man."
yeah, yeah. I think that because I really want to compete, and I think I'm like you. I think I could take it this year, but then I got to look at the big picture, right? So the big
Yep.
picture says if that's another prep for Idaho, and then I only have 8 months until the Arnold Pro, right?
Yep.
Now let's say that I take the 14 months we have now until the next national, and then or even the Arnold, because that'd be like a year from year to year, a year of training. Then it's possible, but I was thinking like this: if I take the national next year, then it's possible with the right training and development that I could just win the Arnold and qualify for the Olympia. I
Yeah.
really feel like I could get in there and win it. I really do. Just based on everything. I mean, the tables are kind of shifting. I mean, I see my size, and I've been next to the guys and whatnot, and I just
Yeah.
really think that I could make a good showing anyhow. Top three perhaps.
You've got broad shoulders anyway. I mean, you're cut, so
Right.
your
Thanks.
shoulder, your waist is always so much leaner than most, because you've got so much broadness to your shoulders, and you've got the nice big round peaks. I mean, I know we always want them bigger,
Right. Yeah, for
but
sure.
you've got some really nice shoulders. You brought just a heck of a package. I mean, that's just all I can tell you, man. You look so good at the
Right
Arnold.
on.
I was
Thanks.
like, wow, man.
Yeah, we went
I
all
was
out
really
for sure.
impressed. The difference between how you looked in Dallas last summer to how
Right.
you looked 7 months later
Right.
was
I was almost 10
unbelievable.
pounds heavier. I was almost 10 pounds heavier.
Well, I think that's where I want to go. If you look at me back at the Arnold, or a year ago when I
Right.
competed,
Hmm.
I was actually weighing in at like 178,
Oh, wow.
and I looked better at 178 than I
Hmm.
looked 7 months later. Of course, I just went through another surgery, another back
Sure.
surgery,
Right. Yeah.
in Dallas. But in Dallas, I came in weighing 163 pounds, and
Hmm.
I looked worse in Dallas than I looked at 175.
Yeah.
I think certain people look better at a heavier weight, and certain people
Right.
look better at a smaller weight.
Sure.
So I'm like you. I'm hoping to put in 5 or 10 pounds of muscle in the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm weighing 170 right now, and just lean as a bean.
Right.
So I'm really hoping I can put some mass on, especially my chest. I've lost
Sure.
a lot of muscle in my chest and my back. I'm still really not at the gym. It's been
No,
4 months
not
since
yet.
my surgery. I'm just so sore. My
Gotcha.
my back gets so sore, and so I've been doing
Hmm.
some cardio and stuff, but it's just sore all the time. So I'm slowly doing things like I think I'm curling like 15-pound dumbbells.
Well, hey, look, that's better. I mean, if you're still healing, then that's definitely still doing it. That's helping all the whole everything
It does, man. When
for
they
sure.
unzip me, and literally my L2 and L3, which is what got in the spinal cord, but I
Mhm.
had eight total fractures in the spine. So the majority, from my tailbone all the way up to T11, is actually all fusion.
Oof.
Every bit of it's fusion,
So what is that like your S1 at like S1 vertebrae all the way up to what now?
all the way up to T11, all the way
Okay.
up to about
So
right
that's
here.
that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It
Yeah,
makes
that's a
bending
lot.
over hard. Like bending over,
Yeah.
like, you're so
Right.
stiff, and that ride's
Yeah.
just unforgiving.
Have to get used to the new you and don't break it this
Every,
time.
every time. Yeah. That's what everybody keeps telling me. Don't
Stop
break it.
trying so hard to bend over.
I just want to pick something off the floor.
Right, right.
So it's tough, but and that's why we're taking it slow this time.
Right,
Um,
for sure.
Josh is still my trainer. He actually placed like number 1 at the Natural Olympia last year.
Nice. That's
So
cool.
yeah, and I forget which division it was, but it's not heavy bodybuilding. It's the one where you wear the
Yeah.
swim trunks, the
Are you
trunks
still
division.
talking to the Natural League about trying to get something wheelchair going on there?
We have, and we just keep running into the same type of roadblocks that we're running into at this level. And
Yeah.
that's people that say they're coming and then they don't want to come or they can't come,
Mm,
or just like you or me, they get injured, they get sick.
yeah. Sure.
I don't think people realize how much easier it is for a pair or quad to get sick
Right. Right.
um, than everybody
I
else.
think that we had, over there at the Arnold UK, there was supposed to be 2 more wheelchair pros, but I think one of them, his father died, and then the other one, I think he got sick. The Spanish guy got sick, and then Anand Arnold, it looked like his dad died like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah. See, it's something, we have to fit life around our schedule, and
Yeah, that's
it
right.
just doesn't always work. So, but no, I have been trying to get that off the ground, and it would be a little bit different. What I'm trying to organize is, and these guys may not be the typical bodybuilder that you get up there and
Right.
go, wow, he's ready for the NPC, he's ready for the next level.
Sure.
At the NGA level, I want to get guys and girls on the stage, and we're just really going to celebrate their life
Right.
and the fact that they're still here, and the fact they had guts to get on stage and they're going to the
Right.
gym. Maybe the lady lost 200 pounds after her accident,
Yeah.
and decided, I
Wow.
don't want to be big in a wheelchair. I want to look lean in a wheelchair. And she lost a lot of weight.
Sure.
Or maybe he was skin and bones after his accident, and he worked really hard, and he put on 20 pounds, and he's just proud of who he is.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's a different kind of criteria and a different thing that we're really looking for at the NGA level,
Hmm.
uh, for the wheelchair bodybuilding. But like I said, I'm running into the same problems that we're running into at the NPC level. So we'll
It's
just
just a
keep
matter
pushing
of getting the
forward.
competitors to come out. That's the real thing. If people will come out, then it will be a thing, and it won't,
Well, even on the NGA
fall by the
level, I told
wayside.
them, if they are willing to come out, any competitor on the NGA level, okay,
Hmm.
I will pay for their entry fee.
Okay. Right on.
I
Right
will
on.
take care of
You
it to
heard it
where
here.
they don't have to pay for their NGA card. They don't have to pay for the entry fee. I will find a way, and we will
Awesome.
cover it.
Awesome. That's great, Kasey. That's great.
So,
Man.
like you, we're just trying to do better things, right? Just trying to
Yeah.
better people.
Yeah. I mean, I want to, spotlight individuals that I speak with and people I know, even people I don't know that have been inspired by myself. And
Right.
hell, if I've been inspired, then truth is that somebody else will be. And we've got to stop being angry that we inspire people and be happy about it, really, because you're put in that position where you can actually be inspiring to somebody.
Brother, I was inspired down in Dallas just to have you sitting next to
I
me.
appreciate that, Casey.
You're a great, you're a
It's
great
been.
guy, man, and you're trying to make this a better world, and I love what you're doing. I love it.
I appreciate it for sure.
I
I
think you're doing
appreciate it
great. You're doing great things, man. Keep it up. Don't quit.
for sure. Thank you. Well, do you have anything else that you want to say to any viewer that might come across this?
Man, we covered a whole lot of topics today,
Right
and
on.
you've got a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my closing statement is no matter how hard things get, no matter what adversity somebody might face or you might face alone, just keep pushing forward. You're not dead until you quit. That's when
I
we
say
die.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Perfect way to wrap up here. Well, I appreciate you talking with me, Kasey. For sure, man.
Hey, anytime, man. You got my number. You just buzz me up. We'll talk.
That's right. That's right. Well, let's see. Do you want to give your Insta plug real quick, or do you have a YouTube or anything like that?
Yeah, the Instagram is just Kasey with a K, Kasey, period. Last name Keeney, Keeney, number 1. There's only one of me at Instagram. Come follow us, and hey, track us. I know you're on Instagram the same as I am. We show our life.
That's right.
And that alone might be motivating to somebody that's waiting in the corner and didn't want to come out of their wheelchair.
That's it.
They
Or
see what you're
if anything
doing.
else, they can watch it and find an idea of how to get something done, perhaps.
Well, yeah, they look and see what you're doing, man, and they go, I want to be like you.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, till next time.
Till
I
next
guess
time.
that we'll holler at you.
All right, man.
Okay.
You have a blessed day.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good talking with you, Kasey. Thanks.
Hey, Rolling to Win fam. Your support means the world. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and spread some positivity in the comments for these amazing athletes.